Well, listen, guys, I want to thank you for, taking the time out of your busy schedules. Scott, I will expect a coffee after this.
Yes.
Me too.
Rick, thanks for getting dressed and taking a shower.
It's the least I can do.
Coming out of your dungeon.
Maybe an extra pair of pants if you need some.
The first thing Rick said when he sat down is, "I'm having a bad hair day." Compared to,
well, there are just too many commercial loan brokers that don't have a damn clue of what they're doing. All we're trying to do here is better the industry for everybody. At the end of the day, you can make great money in this industry, but in the end, it's all about helping people. People always say, Chris, how can I be a successful broker? It's 2 words, hard work and dedication. If you don't like talking to people, you probably shouldn't be in this business. Hey, everybody, we're back with a episode of Entrepreneurs in Finance, and this is kind of a different episode than you're normally used to. This episode, you're going to get an in-depth look at some of our staff here that play an integral part in the legacy program. As you all may know, we have 3 different programs here at Commercial Capital Training Group. We have a gold, we have a platinum, and we have a legacy. A lot of questions about legacy. What are the differences? Why would you go legacy? What are the features and benefits and value proposition of legacy? And so we are used to these questions, and to make everybody's job a little easier and more transparent, I dragged these poor souls out from their dungeons, and some key important employees here that really perform some of the legacy responsibilities and duties to our graduates. And now's the time where we can pick their ear and kind of just shoot the shit about the legacy program. So with that being said, let me make a couple quick introductions here. First of all, gentlemen, thanks for joining us. And first one up here, Scotty D.
Scotty D.
Hey, what's going on, Scott? You want to tell everybody here what you do, the important part you play in the legacy program?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So my role in the legacy program is the director of the program. We have a couple of loan processors under my my watch, we'll call it. And in our role with the legacy is to help grads take care of the busy work off their desk. So, and what I mean by that is, as you get up and running, you're going to be having a lot of deals that hit your desk, and a lot of times we found through just talking to our past grads, they're wasting a lot of time chasing down documents, talking to their customers, trying to get documents. Well, as well as we know, time is money in this business. And if we can help you grads be out on the street selling more and meeting more people by helping push paper between you and the lender and your customer, that's what we want to do. And that's what the program's designed for. It's designed to help you gather documents from your client. It's designed to help you get those documents over to the lender. And it's also designed for the processing team to facilitate conversations between the lender, the sponsor, and yourself as the grad.
You left out an important part.
I also get espresso for anybody that wants.
Correct. Yes. You are the coffee queen.
I am the coffee queen. So again, I say this in class all the time, Amazon/Reglary, and pick whatever espresso you want. We will hand deliver it to you.
Correct answer.
Yeah. So no, I appreciate you doing that introduction, Scott. I mean, but essentially what it is you're like an admin, right? You're like an admin, and that's a big part of the legacy program. A huge part is that as these guys are out there, there's going to be a lot of busy work of chasing down documents, following up with customers on documents. And what the legacy program offers is to take that busy work off the graduate and to leave the part of selling to them. Like, correct. In other words, they're busy selling you, and you're essentially an extension of their team. So we'll get to the particulars on that, but sure. So welcome to the podcast. Yes. We'll get back to you in a second. I want to introduce another integral employee here that heads up a team that provides the leads, which is another important aspect to all of our programs, but particularly the legacy program, because you do get an extra year of leads. So 3 years of leads. So Rick Bartelli, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to finally get you on one of these. You've been dodging us.
Well, I've been in the dungeon and
in
along with
the lab,
demons, I think, as you put it yesterday.
The what?
The demons that come with working from home.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you are one of our employees that works from home.
So I get to be in that, pod where I'm by myself and completely antisocial. And you bring me down the Northway and pop me in front of a microphone and a camera.
And now you're got to be social, right?
Yeah, you have to adjust.
Well, thank you for putting on some clothes for this, because
There's no guarantee there's pants.
There's no guarantee there's pants.
No guarantee.
Yeah. Well, no, welcome to the podcast. You want to explain to everybody kind of your role in the organization and how that plays into the legacy?
Absolutely. I'm the director of lead generation, and what that is essentially is the management from beginning to end of our platinum folks and our legacies as well. I like to call the legacy the platinum on steroids, if you can, because you get that additional 12 months of lead generation. Lead generation is a critical component of the whole program, because aside from all the assets that our team is putting together for you, for a graduate when they're kicking off, that lead generation is basically opening up an immediate door of warm leads on a monthly basis. And over the course of time, not only does the graduate get to know what products him or her are getting more comfortable with and at what pace, they're able to make adjustments to their campaigns. Their campaigns are optimizing in Google as well. I'm able to do analytical work on the campaigns from month to month, seeing what's working and what's not. And of course, as I've said in the past, my MO, as anybody who wants to keep their jobs MO would be, is to scale up what's working and to put the brakes on things that aren't, and keep the grad moving in a forward direction. The legacy program is just, like I said, it's the platinum on steroids. It's literally another year of lead generation. And over the journey for a graduate, those first couple of years are just critical, because not only are they networking locally, regionally, building their business, trying to brand their business along with the other members of our team that are doing such by way of their social media profiles and the optimization of their website, all vital components,
right?
But they all have different life cycles as far as the FMG team is concerned. Lead generation allows opportunities to constantly come to your door on a monthly basis, so you can focus on your salesmanship, your networking, and everything else that your business requires for you to be successful and to grow from year to year. So, like I said, the Platinum program, extremely valuable in and of itself, but the legacy is that additional year, and very well worth it.
Yeah, so these guys are getting 3 years of leads instead of 2 years of leads compared to the Platinum. And it's almost like, Scott's team is not busy unless your job is executed perfectly, right? Because you're generating the leads for these guys to talk to clients and then turn them on to Scott's team. So
absolutely, a lot of things change over that course of time as well. You have graduates that come from a lot of different backgrounds, and the first 3 to 6 months for a graduate, that might be getting acclimated to the working capital products,
right?
Secure lines of credit, the quicker deals, the easier
paying the bills,
loan types like the merchant cash advances and SBA applications, getting them in a pipeline. That's only one piece of it, and the optimization of those campaigns and me getting those working for the graduate while they're learning how to sell those loans and work with the team is literally the first chapter, because the training program opens up the door to be able to sell so many loan products, and
right?
The graduates can't become an expert at all,
right? And sometimes their focus will change throughout those 3 years on what what are you going to focus on in terms of lead generation. So
exactly,
yeah,
they don't necessarily identify what they want to do or what loan products they really want to make their niche, and it might generally be 2, 3, or 4, and it might take the first year of their journey in this to really figure that out.
Sure.
So the legacy program is just all the more valuable in that even in that first year, whatever's happening from a learning curve, whatever's happening in the marketplace. As you know, the coronavirus this year was a whole
Mhm.
different ball game, and something we all had to acclimate to in different ways. There's another 2 years over and above that for them to be having these leads come to their door and working with me on campaign changes, trying a new loan product. And again, my ultimate responsibility is building that, ramping that up, and making it work for them.
Good. Yeah, no. All right. Awesome. And so, yeah, we'll talk more about kind of what you do. But let me get to the last guy in this pool, which is Mr. Joe Schaefer.
Hello.
You guys have probably heard that voice. He helps
Yeah.
me out. He's kind of produces and makes things run smooth here with this podcast.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades. But Joe, you have an integral part as well. You head up the marketing enhancement team, which is included in the legacy package. And it's the only package where it is included. Otherwise, you have to buy it a la carte. But you want to explain just kind of your role and heading that department?
Yeah. And, in the interest of time and getting to a lot of the other interesting questions and things that we're going to talk about today, I mean, basically in a nutshell, we're talking about, another opportunity that's added on top of, not just the broker side of things, being able to offer capital, because we know, and even the people that come through the program know, every business needs capital and marketing if you plan to stay in business for any type of longevity or even just to be competitive. So with that said, and this is not an official definition, but when you come through the opportunities, to be able to offer capital, and then when I do the part where I teach the marketing component, where you can now offer marketing services and capital, it's the 1-2 punch for ongoing success for any business that you may, as a client, may come in contact with and start to work with. And I know, and just having worked with you for the past 4 years, Chris, and I've kind of integrated into the education piece is the diversity part of everything. And people that diversify in their business, we know, it's kind of like future proofing your profit and revenue stream. So being able to offer marketing on top of being able to offer capital, you're adding another revenue stream. And so, and I know I love during these podcasts, I put 2 and 2 together. And so I'm putting 2 and 2 together even more so, lead gen happening. And there's other things that we do, search engine optimization, but we can talk about those. But with lead gen happening, and then Scott and his team, helping with the admin side of things. And the point that Rick brought up was, now you're saving time, and it's valuable time that most people go into business for themselves anyway in order to regain their identity, regain time. But when you're saving time, you're able to speed up the learning curve of not just the capital products and services that you're able to offer, but if you've gone through legacy and you have this marketing component, well, now you can ramp that up too, and you can really start to focus on growing your business, growing your pipeline, and letting the team here handle the legwork, all the what we call quote unquote grunt work. And we're doing the work, and you're out there growing your business. And the majority of business owners don't have that opportunity. Don't have that chance.
Because I think the majority of business owners that walk into a business, they're doing everything, right?
Yeah.
The onus is on them to try to figure out how to generate leads, how to process paperwork, if you want to equate it to the people in this room, how to do marketing, I mean,
accounting and, hiring and firing
and everything else. Right. So, I mean, people always say the legacy package, it's $99,000. It's a lot of money, and it certainly is.
Well,
and I'll preface this. Listen, it is a lot of money. It doesn't matter if gold, platinum, or legacy. It's all a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, compared to the other opportunities and franchises out there, it really isn't a lot of money. I mean, most places start at 150, 200 and go up.
Yeah.
And plus, that's just to get in. That's not counting all the marketing you have to do. That's just to kind of buy the franchise. And then, I don't, this is not a franchise pros and cons talk, but I think the way to analyze this, what everybody's saying here. I mean, Scott, your department alone, to get a processor in this business, depending on where you live, on the low end, 45,000 to on the high end, maybe 60,000 a year.
Easy.
And our legacy guys enjoy your team for the life of their business. So
correct.
The proper way to analyze that, forget about everything else they get. Forget about Rick's leads, websites, anything. You're saving, let's just take on the low end, $45,000 a year on a processor, paying salary and benefits.
And that's, as a business owner, when you're always trying to streamline,
right,
you look at the best way to streamline.
Right.
So if you can get something for one price opposed to paying it year over year over year over year, and having to manage it year over year over year over year.
Right.
It's insurmountable about the money that you put in your pocket, and just just being able to sleep at night knowing that somebody's getting the work done for you.
Right. And knowing that in the morning you're going to give them a cup of coffee. You're going to be there
Or
bright and early.
espresso.
And
Yeah.
it depends. If you guys want a little hard on it, I've got a little bistro class I'm taking.
What's the annual salary of having a personal butler or a Jeeves, bringing espresso?
Well, that's when
Well,
that's when you've really made it. I know.
$100,000 right there.
It is.
I don't know if you guys know, Scott is also my personal trainer here. Scott is a trainer, outside of here, he does a lot of personal
Yeah.
training, and then he comes here and helps me out, with all my health issues, and he's been helping me out a lot, man.
So, I mean, hey,
coffee.
we could even add personal training into the legacy package.
You're going to need a bigger business
Online
card.
training with espresso in the morning.
Your business card will be a postcard, a 5x8, with all the list of things you are able and
Right
do.
It's that screen right there.
Yeah. And then with you, Rick, I mean, the way to look at the cost savings, I don't know if people know this, but if people were to buy lead gen a la carte, and maybe you could explain that a little bit, but it really saves money because we don't charge normally there'd be a management fee, right? So if somebody's budget was, let's say, $2,000 a month, $1,500 a month, we charge 20 to 30% management fee on top of that every month to manage the account. That's all pre-built into the package. So, sometimes people say, well, can I do this a la carte? Short answer is, well, yes, but it's going to cost you a lot more over the long run. If you could speak to that.
Absolutely. I mean, talking about Scott's position and what the cost would be bringing somebody on board for that position alone, a PPC strategist would be 60, 70, just a bare bones somebody that was just, in Google ads and basically setting up campaigns, optimizing campaigns, doing basic keyword research, and looking over those accounts from month to month.
And let me just stop you right there. It's not like you set it up one month and come back the next month. I mean, your team is in these accounts.
Daily.
Pretty much daily. Yeah. It's not something you
Daily.
set it and forget it and come back 3 years later and say,
Absolutely.
here's what we have.
Absolutely. In our department, and part of my role is not just the Google Ads campaign. It's designing those landing pages. It's
right.
Designing those landing pages from a marketing perspective where call to actions are in place. I mean, it's more than just a professionally designed page. It has a certain amount of marketing verbiage in a certain place. They're responsive on different devices. So there's a whole design element in our department as well in getting these leads, these landing pages, because folks click on an ad and they're, that the cost is incurred right there just to click on the ad.
And your job's not done yet. I mean, part of it is to get the clicks, but then it's to convert the clicks to a call or a form fill out.
It's constantly, exactly. It's constantly analyzing that. It's making sure that you're bringing this campaign and maximizing what Google refers to as an optimization score. So the keywords that you use, the ad copy that's created that represents that landing page, which is in Google's eyes, from an algorithm standpoint, all of that has to marry and make sense. So we have a job that extends far beyond just the PPC. We're designing landing pages that once the loan seeker gets there, we maximize that ability to convert.
Right.
That person sees what the graduate offers, what their business offers, and maximize the chance that person is going to fill that form, submit it, and result in what is called in our world a conversion.
Right. Yeah.
And then part of the optimization daily too would be you've got competitors out there. It's not you guys putting out an ad and that's the only one on the page. I mean, you've got competitors out there that are trying to knock you down from those spots as well, or not you, but
Absolutely.
the client or the grad. And so that's part of that daily thing, and that's another reason why you're in there daily.
Yeah.
And that's that's something that we talk about in the marketing enhance is why it is that way, and we show people visually competition, quality score, the auction piece to it, and so it's not just making the best landing page the most converting ad, but also it's kind of a defense too against the competitors too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The ad copy, that storefront. I mean, you picture that you're looking for, somebody types in emerging cash advance in Google, and now you're, if you just to use may not be the best analogy, but it would be like walking down a road that has 20 stores, and all they specialize in are merchant cash advances.
Right.
So your storefront.
So
better
how do you
be
get your store
as pretty and
yeah.
engaging as possible to
Right.
maximize the probability that
Yeah.
that person's going to walk through your door.
Right.
And that comes, so that's why, there's an art to writing the ad copy, creating the ad. The keyword research has to be spot on, has to be optimized, it has to be looked over. Google's always changing the playing field in terms of their terms and conditions. We're dealing with things.
Yeah, and a lot of people think, I think a lot of people think that we're a lead aggregator, which we're not. I mean, meaning what your department does is lead generation at its purest level. Meaning, we don't collect leads and then decide. You don't sit there and go, gee, I like this grad better, so I'm going to give him more leads today or better leads. It's lead generation at its purest, where we're doing marketing for the graduate's business. So you have no control of who gets what in terms of, let's say your pool of legacy people. It's all organic, meaning when the customer calls or fills out a form, it goes directly to the grad. Yeah, real time. We're not reselling leads. We're not,
the first touch is the brand itself. The grad's brand.
Yeah,
is
we're not distributing a lead and charging them. I mean, we don't share any leads. All leads are unique to that graduate.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's best way to put it. It is a lead in its purest form. It's coming through Google in real time. I CC myself. I really am a micromanager of the leads themselves in the lead flow.
You get CC'd on every graduate's lead.
Yes.
How many freaking emails do you get in a day?
Well,
filter those to a folder, buddy.
Wow.
I turn off notifications that, if I know for several months there's a pattern and there's a steady flow, and I have a graduate where I want them, in other words, they're optimized, they're well optimized,
right?
And I can turn off notifications,
right?
And I'm still ramping up other campaigns. I won't take myself out of the CC on the lead until I know that and I'm literally checking from a reporting standpoint. I'm looking at leads every day and seeing what the conversion counts are.
Yeah,
for every graduate.
Right.
You're listening, right? That's a listening that you're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, I have a responsibility to the company as well to make sure that we're getting, that we're doing well, and I have responsibilities internally. So we're not, spending more money than we have to for the same number of quality leads, while, taking care of the graduate and maximizing, I know we have a contractual obligation, but we each and every month exceed that number. I mean, that's and that's my goal too, is to
maximize the amount of leads they get.
Maximize the amount of leads and leave no stone unturned in terms of giving the graduate an opportunity to be successful with those leads.
Right. Well, it makes me feel better that you work from home now. I mean, because it sounds like you're glued to your chair. You're looking at leads when you're going to the bathroom, when you're eating, when you're, it's good thing you work at home.
You're a little uncomfortable in the beginning, but once you realize that I literally like this stuff, and I don't have, outside of, football and track season, when Saratoga comes around.
Well, in the beginning, I was worried you're watching Judge Judy at 1 o'clock.
I listen to ESPN in the background.
It's just background noise.
I can't multitask much beyond that. I have about 12 tabs open on my computer at any given time.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at numbers with the left side of my brain while trying to be as creative as possible with the right side, and designing these landing pages and getting everything flowing.
It's an art. It's a science. You're part behaviorist, part psychologist. Honestly, you have got to understand what makes people tick. And when you understand that, then design visually and also through messaging what's going to make them convert. The fewest, the least paths of the conversion that they have to click through, the better.
Yeah, and I think people think that sometimes they could do it on their own. And I'm not touting our company, or this is just for but this is listen, this is any agency. The thing is, like, you're not an expert. You're an expert at financing. That's what you're going to aspire to be when you're here. You're not an expert at PPC. And so sometimes people think, well, I'm just going to set it up, and that's where it could get dangerous, where you could wake up and have, you know, all these clicks but no leads, and now you just
not turn
wasted
your
a bunch
credit
of
card
money.
off and your
You see
credit
that
card
with the
maxes.
graduate too.
Do you?
You see that. You see, you know, some of them want to control everything, and I can relate to that because when I owned my own agency, I was, you know, chief cook and bottle washer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because I had to
Right.
be, and
Right.
because I didn't know how to get capital for my business. I knew nothing about business capital. And
Why
that's
do you think I don't
work
have
for
an
you now,
agency?
Chris.
Accounts receivable, baby.
But yeah, you know,
Yeah, you guys are ex-marketers. See,
That's right. I'm here for a reason.
yeah,
You didn't have that other component.
I've
of
learned
capital.
a lot in the 4 years I've been here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now I'm teaching it back to everybody to give back because it's very valuable to me too.
what you can teach other people through your own
Learn from my mistakes.
Exactly.
That's right. And I use that as a teaching tool, and
We're
I
kindred
will until the
spirits.
day I die. No doubt about it.
Spirits there for sure.
You know, just I do want to tout the, and I probably never said this before. I've been doing this for 18 years, and I'm consistently impressed with the PPC department because I know how difficult it is to do that. I really do, and I've done it.
Yeah, it
and
is.
I'm not good at it, and that's why I don't do it.
Yeah.
I can teach it because I know how it works, but
Yeah.
I'm
You're an old SEO dinosaur.
I'm a dinosaur, almost a fossil. He's trying to make me a fossil.
I think I'm
though.
a little more dinosaur than you. I started in 99, I think.
I'm close, yeah. So I was a 2000 boy, 2001, but I was online in 96.
Yeah, we're
AOL, baby.
Yeah,
AOL.
exactly. All right. Do you know what Match.com was called before it was Match.com? Let's test your.
Oh,
your,
don't test me.
your
No, I don't. What was it?
Joe.com.
Love it. AOL.
Oh, now I've had some
Yeah.
clients we can
Love
talk about that
AOL.
you would know about that are along those lines of those places.
Yeah.
See, I bet when I was, you know, that young, I was just making fun of the guys that are into that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what
And
most
here-
people
Yeah, I know.
The people that play with computers were just, you know,
Yeah.
you made fun of them and picked on them.
Oh,
But,
sure.
Yeah.
It still happens today, but you know,
can't go out to a bar.
we're a different kind of
Yeah.
rock star.
Get out
You know,
your
we
house.
grew into
Get
our
out your
rock star
apartment.
status. that's
No,
for
I
sure.
think now it's the opposite, right? I mean, now it's like if you know how to do that stuff,
Oh yeah, if you
You're
don't
a
know how to
rock
do
star
that,
and-
yeah.
you're probably making good money. You know?
Yeah, I thought I was going to tour around the world and play drums in a rock band. I'm just a different kind of rock star. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm sure Rick's a musician too. I'm sure he was going to be a rock star too. He's just a different kind.
Absolutely.
You know, I'll speak just Joe something about your department. I was
Yeah.
on the phone the other day with a legacy guy,
Yeah.
Nate.
Yeah,
On the phone,
He's a
I was on the
great
phone
guy.
with Nate,
great guy.
and
Evil.
yeah, Evo.
Yep.
And funny story. So he's been at this about 3 months.
Yeah,
right?
it's a great story.
He's
He
got
shared with
stuff.
me.
He's got stuff in the pipeline.
Good.
Actually, he has a couple huge deals in the pipeline that are
Good.
probably going to close in a month or two.
Nice.
A couple big elephants, despite on what we say about big elephants. But anyway, totally happy. And he called me about a kind of complicated deal, which I was more than glad to kind of talk through it with him. But he said, you know what? Because we haven't closed a deal yet. It's been 3 months.
Oh.
But he goes, we're gonna be closing a couple big deals in the next month or two. But he goes, we did close something.
Yeah. What was that?
And I go, and he goes, well, so he goes, tells me the story. He goes, you know, when we bought the legacy package, he goes, we knew it had this marketing thing in terms of what Joe does. You know, we could offer marketing offer marketing to clients at a
Yeah.
white label basis. And he goes, I said to my partner, we're never going to use that shit. And that's exactly what he said.
Well,
But he
appreciate the honesty.
So he goes, you know, they sat through the extra 2 days of training.
sure.
And now he said about a month ago, he went to his dentist and he's sitting there getting something done, his teeth cleaned.
Sure.
And the dentist was bitching about how he had to start this marketing thing and he had to build a new website.
Oh,
And
perfect.
he literally said, as he was in the chair, he was telling me this. He goes, well, you know, we do, you know, we have a whole separate company where we do marketing,
Nice.
right? He was smart enough to say that, although he didn't have a clue what he was even. Yeah, he didn't have a clue what he bought in terms of the marketing enhancement package, but he knew enough to say, hey, our company does marketing
Yeah.
too. And the dentist goes, really? So they exchanged numbers. And then he said, you know, about, you know, not too long ago, the dentist called him up and said, hey, we're ready to talk to my assistant. You know, we want to go with you to build the website. And he said he signed his first deal. He got a $5,000 check.
And it wasn't capital.
And it
was
wasn't capital.
No.
So here he was. He didn't even know. You know, he's working. He's concentrating on finance,
Sure.
but
And they all do, and that's good.
And his first check though came from selling a website to somebody. So that's
Yeah.
ironic.
I love that story.
The part of the package.
We love Nate, and we talk about Nate all the
use,
time.
right?
Yeah.
He didn't even really Yeah, he just said, oh, we're never going to use that shit. I mean, it comes with it, okay, but yeah, but
Yeah.
You know,
See that?
That's a good story.
He
Yeah.
had diversification. He had another revenue stream, and he was ready to go. And he pulled out that tool when he needed it. And there you go.
But I got to, from
awesome.
from some of the other guys that have been in it a long time.
Yeah.
The Brandons, Bartellis, the, Aspen,
Aspen,
right?
Right.
I mean, I find that a lot of these guys are becoming superstars in their own right. I mean, and which is tough for you guys because your team has to keep up with the processing volume, and you have a big expectation, Rick, of providing leads to these guys. And so, how do you manage those guys? Because if you look at the people in the legacy program, these guys are heavyweights. I mean, a lot of them are doing a ton of volume, and maybe that's a question for you, Scott.
Yeah,
I mean, because
that's a great question too. And Aspen actually was the very first legacy that we had brought on board. Which
Right.
was
Last
December
year.
of last year.
Yeah.
That's when
Shane
we
and
got
his
everything.
team.
Shane
Yeah.
About 10 of them. He has
got a
7
bunch
or
of
8.
people.
Bunch of
Wow,
people.
nice.
And
A nice team there.
and he in year over year, from when we brought him on board, actually it was less than a year, he quadrupled what he was doing as far as deal flow.
Right.
And it's just and what's great about Aspen and Shane is he's very focused and he's always modifying and changing to make sure he flows with what's coming into his business.
Sure.
But for us, it's exciting to see the deal flow come in, and more importantly, help these guys with the deal flow to help them continue to grow.
Right.
And managing the deal flow is, we have CRMs that we do this.
Mhm.
We use HubSpots.
And can
yeah,
you
good.
talk about how it's white labeled? Because maybe some people don't get that are watching this, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
how are you guys an extension of their team, and how do you keep it so it's not Scott from CCTG?
Correct. So all of our email for the loan processing team is loanprocessing.support.
Right.
So when I'm working, and I'll use Shane as one of our clients,
Sure.
when I'm working with Shane or any of his prospects, and Shane asked me to send an application out with a checklist of documents that are needed, I will sign my email, Aspen Commercial Lending Loan Processing Team or Aspen Loan Processing Team, designating myself as Shane's processor and making it
Right.
different from Evolt Loan Processing.
Yeah.
I work with Nate also. So that's how we're white labeling it, so the clients know who we are. And what's also important, and Shane's been doing a great job of this, is when he's talking to a prospect, he's introducing his loan processing team. Hey, Scott from my loan processing team
It's going to reach out to you.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I get that, I send the email out and sign it,
Yeah.
to Aspen and who we are and what we do. And, we're off to the races as far as gathering documents and getting them in house.
And for these new people, coming out of this program particularly, and, we talk in marketing about how important it is to be credible, and credibility is huge. We've got, Google partner badges and stuff on our website, man, that's credibility. I mean, we earn them and everything, but it's credibility from the start. So, talking about credibility, you're right out of the gate and you're saying, hey, my loan processor, Scott, it, credibility wise, it makes your company look
Makes
bigger.
you look bigger. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it looks, you are legit. When I say legit, you're already legit. It looks way more legit. It
Right.
just really does work to the advantage of the grad that comes through. And, ever since you came up with the idea for the legacy package, I mean, it's genius. I mean, it just, in terms of the business opportunity,
it
the
involves,
opportunity
I
itself.
mean, the whole legacy package evolved after countless people.
Mhm.
And I'd say countless, we would
Yeah.
have grads
Yep.
that would come to us. A lot of them were the platinum grads, and they would say, look, it's great. We got volume. We're busy. But, do you have any advice on hiring
Right.
a processor? What do you normally see? Right. And so I would give advice on, well, they have to have these set of skills, and what I know, even with our own team here for our own loan products, is that the problem with that market, that job market, when you put that out there, is you can get way different into the spectrum. I mean, you can get somebody that has some underwriting skills, but people that will apply for the job are people that just got fired from Dunkin' Donuts. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to that profession, but you'll get people that apply and they're not qualified whatsoever. So it's a time process of weeding through people.
Mhm.
Then when you do find somebody that you think is good, you have to make sure that they have those skills, and then you got to put the time in to educate them on your products. They have to understand your products.
Days off, sick days, that's what we were saying before. I mean,
Right.
this takes all of those headaches right out of the mix that a lot of business owners never get that opportunity to have.
Right. And so people used to continuously ask me about that. And then finally, yeah, I mean, kind of a light bulb popped off and said, what if we developed a higher tier program that would incorporate that for the life of their business? And aside from that, they get another year with Rick. They have a pleasure of working with Rick for a third year. They have all the lifetime capabilities. They get the marketing enhancement. So 2 opportunities kind of for the price of 1.
Yeah.
They also get a lifetime membership to the NACLB, which is, valuable in itself. There are a lot of perks other than what Scott and Rick does and what you do.
Right.
But I think the reason I have you guys in this room is those are some of the major ones that come along with the package.
And that's one of those things I just love about working here is whether it's from you or from anybody else in the team, Alex, Jenna, anybody, these guys, we identify a need. And when we see those gaps where there's a need, we come up with a solution that just crushes. And that's right. It's really exciting to be here.
I mean, to look at the value.
Yeah. If you monetary value.
Well, no, if you just look at a whole other opportunity.
Right.
And you could put a dollar amount on that.
Yeah.
What you do, right? 45 to 60,000 a year to hire somebody, what your team does. And then Rick, the value of 3 years worth of leads at, 20, 25 a month or even more. I mean, that in itself comes close to the price of the package itself, not even counting the training, the lenders, the lifetime component. I mean, so people have to understand that value. Yeah.
I mean, if we extrapolated the value, the monetary piece, like if you took Nate that we talked about already, and the 5,000 he already made, I mean, if he bought the enhanced profit package, a la carte, it would have spent roughly that. So my point being, if he ever sells another marketing anything, which he will, it's all pure profit. It's just in the pocket, and he's not doing the work. And from a white label standpoint, the white label team is doing the grunt heavy lifting work.
Well, everybody here is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Great.
Rick is doing heavy lifting in his team. Scott's doing the heavy lifting in his team, and you're doing
just frees up so much of the brain power for the business owner, for the broker. That it's really exciting for them.
They can focus on building the rapport.
Yeah.
Getting.
It's
it's like
the franchise. You're making the donuts. You don't have to make the donuts.
Well, that's it.
Well, no, you have a team. Yeah.
Right. I love it.
I mean, you don't have to make the donuts, and you got Scott bringing you the coffee,
Exactly.
And he's a personal trainer, and who knows what other skills this guy's got.
Rick, do you bake?
Well, I am Italian, so
There you
know.
go.
Oh,
The Italian Christmas cookies. Look
here
out,
we go.
guys.
I don't see the cannoli on the table, by the way.
Yeah, well,
Next time, Rick,
didn't give me enough.
make a note.
I just said I had to buy a shirt.
You had to buy a shirt.
He walks there, around the house in a
You think
robe
I'm
all
kidding?
day.
Yeah. Well, I told Rick before this, go, look, he goes, what do I have to do? He goes, he's like, you mean we got to do this radio or this podcast? I got to be there and speak in person. And he goes, what else do I need to do? I go, take a shower and get some clothes.
Put some pants on.
Put some pants on.
Comb your hair.
Yeah. Turn Days of Our Lives off and get in the car. And come on down here. Judge Judy, whatever. Pick one.
I told him he could
I'm a
tape
social
Judge Judy.
person, but anybody,
Everybody's got DVR now, right? Everything's on demand. You can just go watch Judy.
What'd you say, Rick?
just say, I'm a social person, but you could take, the most eccentric, chatty person and put them in a place by themselves or stick them in a cave for a month, which is kind of like, my life.
Yeah.
Now.
Right.
And, they're going to be looking around and a little bit shy to come out,
But you like that life though. That life is for you.
Well,
right?
I'm comfortable in my own
right.
skin.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
A couple of bad relationships and a daughter who's 18 and wants to do her own thing. We'll do that to you.
I will do that. You're like a beaten up dog, right? Like you're just very gun shy about human interaction.
But it's really great at the PPC. I mean,
COVID
really
locked me down even more. Everybody, I was thinking I had to take a close look in the mirror and make plans for what I want to do in 2021. Because the drastic changes that everybody had to make in 2020. I didn't really have to make too much.
Rick's like, I've been living this life for years.
I know. What's everybody complaining about?
I had to look in the mirror and question how much of a life I have, and maybe you think about taking up golf. And I tried doing that a few weeks ago with my brother, and I really, really suck. And
you and me both.
On top of it's something that you're really bad at. It's frustrating you at the same time.
Right.
Now I realized why I walked away from it 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, doing something you're not good at is frustrating.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah.
I'm back into guitar, so that's something that I'm not too bad at. So,
all right.
So what do you guys think? And we'll go around the room. Like, Scott, what's the best part of your job in terms of working with these graduates? What keeps you motivated?
Seeing seeing the success.
Right, because you
uh,
see it on the deal
I s-
level.
I see it on the deal level all the time, and hearing these guys, get a term sheet, or like Nate said, he's close to closing a deal. We got Dean Freeman, who's one of our other graduates that just came out of class not that long ago.
Right.
Has a couple of nice deals that he's getting ready.
Yeah,
to
he was a
close,
recent
and
grad.
Shane has a huge pipeline full of stuff that's going to be closing into the next couple of years based on the stuff that's closing this year too. So it's kind of cool to just see the excitement. These guys get jazzed up, and they look at it, and it's the consultative kind of approach where hey, what do you think about this deal? And that's the kind of relationship I have with these
Yeah.
guys, just to kind of talk through it.
Right.
I mean, granted, our job is pushing paper and all that stuff, but
Right.
it's a little deeper than that. It's
Right.
you have the front end support, which is Mac and John, which is for all levels, and then you have the back end support for the legacy, which is us. But it all kind of intertwines together, and you see the excitement, and you see these guys just get all juiced up to want to go find more deals, because
Right.
they know that they just hit something on the head, and
Yeah.
they're going to look for another deal like that, and it's kind
It's
of
got to be exciting.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll get a bunch of cards for National Secretary Day.
I'm hoping
this
to get
year.
flowers.
When is hold on a second.
Or a bunch
Thanks,
of
Joe. You wanna
espresso
take-
machines.
Espresso machine.
I'm going to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
I'm going to send him flowers for Secretary Day.
I'm
I
in
know
on
I will.
that. I am in
We
on
should
that.
just all go in and send it to Scott and his team.
Awesome.
No, that's cool. And Rick, so what's one of the most rewarding parts of your job?
Really just having this entrepreneurial itch of my own kind of filled, or being able to feel that vicariously through a graduate.
Right.
I said that when we did the employee profile videos
Yeah.
that are on the YouTube channel now. And, it might sound cliche, but we, a number of us have owned our own businesses.
You have.
And we've had our own journeys. And,
So you can relate to the grads.
You can relate to them. And when you see them having wins, and you see that things happening for them are, a large byproduct of things that I'm doing in the PPC department,
Right.
and are happening from leads coming through our department, especially when you hear back from them and they're vocal about, in their appreciation of it, and the ones that are, communicating with you on a weekly basis, letting you know what they're doing and what's happening.
Right.
And basically, emphasizing that this opportunity wouldn't have happened if it had not come through the PPC program.
Yeah.
It feels good.
How about the she? I don't know if you saw the podcast with the Sheeans, Rachel and Mark.
Oh,
I did.
Where
good one.
I asked, and they knew it was coming. I go, hey, how many leads you guys are getting? How many leads are you guys getting? And Joe and I calcalated it,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and they're getting like, what was it?
there was hundreds.
Yeah, I mean,
I was going to bring it up earlier, but I'm glad.
yeah, I mean, that you guys are killing it with them, and they to the point where you got to shut it off.
They told you to shut it
They
off.
told
They
you
told
to shut
please
up
pause
because
this
they-
because we
they-
can't keep up with the
because
volume.
they're getting too many leads. Yeah.
Yeah.
True story.
Rachel and Mark, they've had me shut it down several times. But that's a good example for more than one reason, because,
Should have told them to get the legacy.
they,
They can't handle it.
they
Can they upgrade?
They thought that they were
Sure.
gonna be,
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
yeah, definitely. I don't know if I know they'll be able to afford it.
Yeah.
But
Right.
If you're asking for less money coming in, then probably can afford it.
yeah.
I always love when I hear that. Like, they told Rick to shut down the leads. It's
Yeah.
like, that's a
But
good
they didn't
thing.
get off to. It's not that they didn't get off to a good start, but like I was talking about in the beginning of the podcast, these campaigns take time to optimize. They
Right.
take time to really get rolling, and that's usually. It's not to say that I mean, obviously leads are coming in month one,
Mhm.
and depending on how Google's algorithm is in taking in the whole campaign, the numbers, they all stay within the same range for graduates. But no matter what you do to a campaign, it's lead generation. So you're occasionally going to get that startup, that individual who's dreaming, and that's great that they're dreaming. They're dreaming of owning their own business, and
Right.
being a successful entrepreneur, but they're not at a point where you can really help them yet, outside of maybe giving them a little bit of advice.
Right.
They need to get a business going and start generating some revenue and having collateral and having the money in the bank. And
Sure.
we can only do so much. And somebody that comes in, a lead that comes in, whether it's a call or an email lead, might be somebody that you won't be able to work with today, but in 6 months to a year, that individual, you might have a relationship with that individual. So Mark and Rachel, great people, but they had a high expectation right out of the gate, and they challenged me. And I don't want to say that they weren't happy in the beginning. They were happy, but they challenged me to optimize the campaign more, try some different products, and I took it as a serious challenge.
Yeah.
And put a lot of time into it, and worked with them, and turned it around real quickly for them. And and I don't think they were able to go on vacation this year.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing.
That's a good reason.
That
why.
always means you
challenge me like that.
Yeah.
I think that's why as
they're a good
marketing guys
story.
are this way. We love the challenge. Like, you're going to challenge me, I'm going to come at it, and with all guns blazing.
What you have.
I'm coming at you.
When I start emailing people at 10 o'clock at night and on the weekends, and hey, did you follow up on
Right.
that lead? It looked like
Yeah.
you looked like a really good deal. I saw
Oh,
some
yeah.
collateral there.
Yeah.
$1 million.
Yeah.
And
Wake up in the middle of the night with a sweat.
And Joe, before I get to you of what drives you, but
Sure.
Rick, one other point is people don't realize, but we record those calls. When people call in from the lead form, we record those.
Yeah.
And it gives us insight if the grad is doing their job, because you can do your job at 110%, but are they doing their job? Meaning,
right.
How are they on the phone? Are they having their little kid answer? Is there a dog barking in the background?
Yes.
So that's one of the checks and balances that we've implemented here, where we can see if you're really doing your job up to capacity. And I'm sure you've shared feedback with folks, and I know our support guys have, on how they even handle the call, right?
Absolutely. I have a sales background as well. And I came out of college with my sociology degree and major in sociology and minor in music, because that had anything to do with sales, right?
Right.
I went into
It's all about
sales
relationships.
for 5 or 6 years. And, I was making I was selling computer training.
Yeah.
And I was making 100 cold calls a day, 75 to 100 cold calls a day. And I was terrified in the beginning of that.
Sure.
Because, this was selling in the 90s,
Right.
where this wasn't a warm lead. This was opening up the business guy in the
Old
capital
yellow
region.
And look what you were
And-
selling in the 90s. Who was buying that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, that's when things were starting to ramp up.
Oh, yeah.
And we were getting people in by, my line was, can I please, you have gatekeepers, obviously.
Mhm.
Christine is a gatekeeper.
Mhm.
She's not going to pass everybody through.
I like that.
through the
Yeah,
internet.
me too.
Gatekeeper. That's it.
And my line would be, we would give out a coupon for a free apps class.
Yeah.
Microsoft Office, Word,
Yeah.
Excel, Access. And that would be my pitch, call up, ask for the person responsible for computer training for the company,
Yeah.
whether it was a New York State agency or, a mom and pop shop on the corner. Right. And I literally made 100 phone calls a day, and we had to, basically give out, our goal was to give out a dozen free classes, coupons a day.
I was going to say 10%. I was going to
Yeah,
say.
so it's like, that's cold.
Yeah.
There's nothing colder than that.
Right,
You don't know if the
right.
company
Oh,
has
yeah.
a lead. You don't even know if they have a computer.
Sure.
This was in 1996 to 2000.
Right.
So I never and then with my own businesses, I did my own calls as well. When I started, basically putting the phone down and learning how to, learning Photoshop and how to design websites, and learning SEO back in the
You
early
had a
days.
directory, didn't you? You had a local directory,
Yeah,
didn't
518 online.
you? Yeah, I knew you did. I knew.
So the point is you
But the point is,
you
yes,
provide insight.
if we have a graduate that, a few graduates that are they're
Not handling-
I'm trying to think of the right way to put it.
not handling the calls the way they should.
Yeah, but they were like, we haven't closed any deals yet. Okay, well, let's backtrack and let's look at a few things, and then I'll go in and ask them, are you answering the phone in real time?
Right.
How
That's a
long
big thing.
are you remembering Chris's mantra during training week, that when that email lead comes in, are you calling them within the first 5-10 minutes that real-time lead?
Or do they have a professional voicemail? Because some of these guys, and despite what we say, you know, a lead comes in, and unfortunately, if someone calls and they don't pick up, we still count it as a lead because we generated that. But if they don't have an efficient means of answering or having somebody write down stuff or having a professional voicemail, like I know there's a couple grads, I'm not going to name them, but that, you know, when the lead calls, they don't answer and it says you've reached a Verizon wireless customer.
Right.
I mean, you can't have
I was
that.
just working with a grad, and that won't, you know, name names either, but
Yeah.
that, you know, is trying to find, you know, find his rhythm, so to speak. You know, that's a word I like to use when I'm, you know, when we're getting them going. And I went into our new reporting tool that's in beta right now.
Yeah.
And I listened to the last 10 calls of, you know, that came in through our tracking number. And not one of them was the phone picked up.
Wow.
And they went, and all of them went to an answering service. And it was basically an outsourced answering service that didn't know any of the acronyms of, you know, SBA, MCA, or I'm calling about a ULOC loan, an unsecured line of credit. I'm sorry, what was that you were looking, you know? So there's a lot of things on the front end that, you know, I can't help. And I know this is more of a Mac John thing on the mentorship, but I can't help with,
I mean, you did your job to get the lead in there, but if they don't have an efficient way to capture that lead and talk and respond, it's never going to work.
That sales background in me can't help but
I use those examples in class, in the marketing enhancement class.
Right. You have to answer the phone, you have to follow up, and you have to do it quick because, you know, that individual probably, if you waited an hour, or some of them, you know, some of the grads, well, yeah, I call back all of my leads I follow up with, you know, within 24 hours.
There's often a disconnect between marketing and sales. Often a disconnect between marketing and sales.
Yeah.
And then when sales don't work because you're not answering the phone, who gets blamed? Marketing.
Exactly.
Right. It happens not here. It's in every agency.
I work with a lot of marketing people that don't have, or unfortunate enough to have that sales background and understand what it's like to be on the other side of the fence and be uncomfortable in that type of situation. We're just talking with Alex this morning, you know, before the podcast started, is, you know, graduates on the sales part, as far as being proactive, need to be okay. You know, they need some people, I say uncomfortable. Some people love being on the phone.
Sure.
Some people love being aggressive on the phone. They're natural salesperson. Salespeople. Other people, it's a process for them.
Right.
You know,
they have to learn.
They have either never done it before or have a little experience, and they need that encouragement and willingness. They made this kind of investment, and if they want to grow their business, they have to be able to get a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
You have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to fail, because that's how you learn.
There, but
no, it's great. No, it all works.
And you know, so I appreciate that, Rick. So Joe,
great.
to, you know, kind of end on you, not end, but, you know, at least what drives you? What's rewarding?
I laugh because you ask me this a lot, and it's just it's always different from day to day, moment to moment. But, you know, when I boil it all down, for me as a person, I like to help people.
Yeah.
Whether it's here or outside of here.
All right.
But while I'm here, that's all I do. And it's so many ways, so many different capacities, from the education piece to the further education to, you know, phone calls after. You know, sometimes we're just the shoulder to lean on. I get to help people. You know, I'm full stack, so I've worked in every department possible. I've started these same departments in other agencies, so I get to consult with you know, the other marketing teams here, and it's the helping aspect. And this place and all the models that are here, it's ripe for that. And it's everything that I like to do. Because it combines, you know, what I'm good at, which is the marketing stuff and the creative stuff.
Right.
So it's the helping part. And you know, the more I think, you know, our grads can think of themselves as helpers, because that's what they really are doing. You know, that all comes through in your personality, in your body language, and in your everyday language. And it's just a natural sales thing anyway. I mean, it's about helping in relationships.
That's what everybody's role here is.
It really is.
You're really helping people. And
that's it. Yeah. And you know, and I'm so fortunate to be able to help produce the podcast. And when we do that, although I'm on the marketing side of things and those marketing businesses and opportunities, there is no difference. Being a business owner is a business owner. Sales is sales. Right. And those people, those grads that we have on the podcast, they have a common theme, which is they like to help people.
Yeah.
They're relationship people.
Yeah.
And even if you're not that, the more you think in that way, it's a mindset. When you're in that mindset, those are the people that I see being the most successful financially and even personally in terms of their happiness with what they're doing.
Awesome. Well, listen, guys, I want to thank you for, taking the time out of your busy schedules. Scott, I will expect a coffee after this.
Me too.
Rick, thanks for getting dressed and taking a shower.
It's the least I can do.
Coming out of your dungeon.
Maybe an extra pair of pants if you need some.
The first thing Rick said when he sat down is, "I'm having a bad hair day." Compared to
after I thought about it, it's been a great hair day.
I have a comb also. I bring I don't have much hair to comb, but I have one.
Still growing, yeah.
And Joe, as always, thanks for putting this together.
Listen, thank you very much for the opportunities that we have here. We all thank you. I know we do.
All right, guys. Awesome. Well, thanks for shedding some light on that program. I know we get a lot of questions on it. We'll still probably get questions, but hopefully people get a little in-depth view of who the brainchilds are behind this in each part of the legacy package. So thank you, guys. All right. Thanks, absolutely. That wraps it up for this episode of Entrepreneurs in Finance, where we explore the daily lives of graduates, lenders, and now employees of CCTG, the rock stars. So we will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you. There are just too many commercial loan brokers that don't have a damn clue of what they're doing. All we're trying to do here is better the industry for everybody. At the end of the day, you can make great money in this industry, but in the end, it's all about helping people. People always say, "Chris, how can I be a successful broker?" It's 2 words: hard work and dedication. If you don't like talking to people, you probably shouldn't be in this business.